right, that worked. Crypto After Dark, Constant Collab. Thank you all for joining for another episode. Really happy to have you all here. Thank you all for joining the lunch hour, watching all of our shows. Bear market, bull market, booming market, busting market. We're excited to keep following the crypto market, following what's happening in the marketplace, trying to figure out what's next in the metaverse. You name it, right? So thank you all for joining again. I'm excited to be with you all tonight. As always, we're going to look at the market together. Sorry while I adjust my mic here. Going to look at the market together for a little bit. Just like to give the overview on a daily basis. I think some people are, just get to check in a couple times a day. So we'll take a look at that. We'll look at, want to talk about the overall coins as well. Those are starting to get closer to that 17,000 mark. Talk about a couple articles across the different areas of the marketplace, and then we're going to talk about Decentraland. Last night we talked about Eartha, and we've talked about some metaverses before. I'm going to talk about Decentraland tonight, and I'm going to show you a free game that I've been playing in Decentraland to start minting NFTs, basically at no cost. So you have to participate a little bit, but I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. So I'll start with some charts here. Actually, I'll start on CoinMarketCap. So the one I wanted to point out is we're at almost 17,000 cryptos. That's a lot. 450 exchanges. Market cap is still holding on to 2 trillion. So if we go over to crypto and go to total, we're still trying to hold this 2 million value. It does appear to be making his little cup formation here. So if that can hold, that would be good. I don't know how to get rid of that. Anyway. Hopefully that goes away. Yeah. So market cap's holding off there. Volume's doing all right. Dominance still sitting at about 40%. Gas fees about normal. Top 10 about the same from the other day this week. So I won't look at that too much. Want to just point out a couple things that I notice each day on charts. And I was looking at XDC. I've been talking a lot about ISO tokens. Pros and cons about XDC. I like that it's breaking out of this weekly channel here. So what I've done is just taken the highs, touched as many wicks as possible, come down. It seems to have broken and retest depending on where you decide right here. The problem is it's sandwiched in between these two moving averages here, and this overall structure looks ugly to me. I don't like this structure. So biases, or I guess predictions aside, we'll see what happens, but I don't really love the way this looks just in general, right? So that's one thing to consider. Let's look at Mana today, since we'll be talking about Decentraland. So here's an older chart I've had on Mana. As you can see, this line is still holding, so that's good. We'll see if it can. If not, you could consider this 150 area as another area of support, and then obviously it doesn't have a lot after that, right, as far as technical support is concerned, right? But you could expect it to fall into one of these areas if it sees more bearish activity. And then once again, this looks ugly. I don't like that. I like it if it's upside down. If it's upside down, that looks like it's got a strong base and it could pop up here. But it's not upside down. It's right side up, and it doesn't appear to look great. That's just what I like to call out. Hopefully it hears my sentiment. It goes up to 1 million for you in every single case. So again, crypto.com doesn't look amazing. It looks like it could retest 32 cents. So that's just what I'm seeing. And we'll see what happens from a chart perspective as we move forward. So it might pull up some charts again a little bit later in this, but moving on here, let's talk about ISO tokens. Everybody already knows I'm biased on the ISO tokens, no big surprise. ABA, the American Bankers Association, is backing the Fed's plan for a single-day FedWire ISO 2022 migration in 2023. So to give you some background on the ISO compliant tokens, which are XRP, XLM, XDC, IOTA, and Algo, which are all sort of going to serve different purposes in the ISO framework. And if you're not familiar with those purposes or what those coins even are, head over to our Instagram account. We've been posting some carousels or some informative graphics on what these different coins are, what their purposes on these ledgers, why you should be buying them, and why we've been interested in them, right? And so this article is talking about the American Bankers Association plan and their support for this migration. It had previously been like, hey, you guys migrate there when you're ready, you guys migrate here where you're ready, across these different assets. Now they want to say, hey, let's give everybody plenty of time. Let's make sure all of the ducks are in a row, and then we'll go ahead and migrate at the same time on the same day, right? So the American Bankers Association is supporting the plan to migrate the fund wire service on the single day, but it has serious concerns about a lack of detail on testing strategy and requirements for the move. Responding to the Fed's call for comment, the ABA says it supports a big bang implementation strategy for the ISO 222 migration in November 23, suggesting one of two non-holiday weekends during the month. The association also says it is essential to ensure the move happens on the same day as the clearinghouse chip service migrates to ISO 2022. While agreeing to a timeline, the ABA says banks need a detailed implementation plan as soon as possible so they can set up teams and allocate resources to begin preparing and testing. And so I've done some system implementations in some corporate places at work, and I now work for a software provider out of the Los Angeles area. I understand how system implementations can be challenging on a small scale. So if we're talking about the international banking systems frameworks, well, we're talking about how they categorize themselves, unique identifiers, any parameter rules, password rules, it can be as little and detailed and nitty gritty as that, right? And so very interesting that they're kind of being like poking the sleeping bear, like, hey, you guys need to come up with a plan. Okay, it's not going to work if we just throw out banks and names and say get it in here and do it. They needed a specified plan to get this done. Says the letter, the Board and Reserve Bank should issue a technology roadmap that establishes a series of key dates and milestones related to system requirements and testing procedures. The FedWire migration is just one of several major projects facing U.S. banks, which have also had to contend with the SWIFT ISO 222 migration in November 22 and the FedNow real-time payment system going live in 2023. Therefore, with bank resources already being pushed to the limit, the ABA is asking the Fed to consider pushing back plans to extend the operating hours of FedWire National Settlement Service and make the ISO 2022 migration the highest priority. So this is big news. If you're holding ISO tokens, you're probably like, screw the SEC, screw blah, 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 XYZ, PDQ. But this is big news, and I think patience will play here. There's no hopium really involved with this one. I like that these coins are involved with big names and high volume and high value institutions. They will be the liquidity solution for these institutions. It's more of just a matter of when. So I wanted to bring up this article. I think it's good. I will continue to talk about ISO tokens as we move forward, and sort of point them out on the charts as well. Algo, IOTA, etc. They all have a lot of work to do before they risk sort of breaking out of some of these trends that they have going on. Okay, so moving on, the IRS will ask every taxpayer about crypto transactions this tax season. Here's how to report them. I don't promise everything we're going to talk about is going to be fun. I don't even want to read this one. But look at this guy. Bitcoin is the answer. So, cryptocurrencies, also known as virtual currencies, have gone mainstream. That's for sure. For example, you can use Bitcoin to buy a Tesla and to buy or pay for lots of other things. However, using cryptocurrencies has federal income tax implications. Boo. Here's what you need to know at 2021 tax return time if you have made crypto transactions in the last year. So, the IRS wants to know about your crypto transactions. I don't provide advice or tax advice. I wouldn't tell them that you're buying crypto. That's your right. But if you're selling crypto, they're going to want to know how much you bought it for and if you profited. If you've lost money on crypto, you can also adjust your gross profit as well. So, receipt of virtual currency is payment for goods or services provided. So if you're selling stuff and receiving crypto, you profited. Free virtual currency. So if you're getting airdrops, the receipt of new virtual currency is a result of mining and staking activities. So interest and staking. The receipt of virtual currency is a result of a hard fork. An exchange of virtual currencies for property of goods and services, exchange or trade of virtual currency for another virtual currency, so swapping, so if you're profiting off a swap, I guess, I don't know. And then the sale of a virtual currency and any other disposition of financial interests in virtual currency. So here's the big problem that you and many others are facing. All of these exchanges, so while every transaction is on the internet and is available to you, all of these exchanges are not providing you with a detailed summary of your transactions across these various categories like interest earned or staking earned or coins earned or airdrops, because you've got a ton of wallets, right? You've got all these different areas you're doing it. So I wanted to bring this up because it's coming. So there are different ways to report your crypto profits and the areas you need to do it. So here's some examples. Last year you exchanged 2 Bitcoins for a different crypto. On the date of the exchange, the fair market value of the dollars you received was $125,000, but you gave up $95,000. You acquired the 2 Bitcoins earlier in 2021. Your taxable gain on the exchange was $30,000. That would never happen though, first of all. When are you going to gain $30,000 instantly swapping coins? Wouldn't everybody do that? I'm just reading through these examples. I think they're fun. Last year, you sold a vintage auto that you had restored to perfection for 2 Bitcoins. On the date of the sale, the Bitcoins are valued at $55,000. According to the Coinbase exchange, your tax basis in the auto was $65,000. To report this transaction, your 2021 on your 2021 Form 1040, convert the 2 Bitcoins you received US dollars, $110,000. Your taxable gain was $45,000. I mean, some of this math's easy. That one makes more sense. This one doesn't make any sense. Example 3, you're a self-employed professional. You operate your business as a single member LLC that's treated as sole proprietorship for tax purposes. Last year, you accepted 1 Bitcoin as a payment for a major client. On the date of receipt, the Bitcoins were valued at $55,000 on your 2021 schedule, so you should recognize $55,000 of taxable grand income. So what you should do if you're accepting crypto for payment is tell people to pay you when it's bearish. I'm having fun with this one, I'm sorry. But anyway, keep in mind taxes are coming up. If you need help with that, get a tax advisor. I'm not a tax advisor, but I can answer some questions on, what you can, what you can't do, what they'll be looking for, etc. So anyway, moving on. Commodities Future Trading Chair Chris Giancarlo joins CoinFund as a policy advisor. So these are some of my favorites, right? We've got people leaving government-backed acronyms and market-backed acronyms and joining exchanges, whatever. Okay? So former Commodities Trading Commissioner Chairman Christopher Giancarlo has joined crypto venture capital firm CoinFund as a strategic advisor. Affectionately called Crypto Dad by many in the crypto industry for his crypto-friendly stance as regulator, Giancarlo's role as advisor to the investment firm will focus on policy. Specifically, Giancarlo will help CoinFund traverse Web3 regulation. Web3 refers to the possible and much debated next generation of the internet that encompasses decentralized protocols and promises to reduce netizens' dependency on big tech companies like Amazon and Facebook. I won't hold my breath. They're probably just going to buy up all the good Web3s and give you access to all of them, right? So as former chairman of the CFTC, Chris was always on the cutting edge of technology and at the forefront of regulatory policy. CoinFund President Christopher Perkins wrote in an email to CoinDesk. As the regulatory framework continues to crystallize across Web3, Chris will be able to deliver key insight on how CoinFund and portfolio partners can navigate this emerging landscape. In a press release Thursday, CoinFund founder Jake Bruckham called Giancarlo's appointment a distinct honor for the firm, adding, as a crypto regulation and legislation is being formed in real time in the United States, Chris stands out as one of the most authoritative experts and commentators when it comes to Web3 and crypto adoption, as well as the capital market structure. So I love partnerships. If I love two things, it's ISO and partnerships. I like seeing things like this. I hope this helps out more adoption and certainly CoinDesk space or presence in the space. So moving on here, Want to talk one more technical thing, death cross. So if you're not familiar with a death cross, this article is referring to Bitcoin on the daily chart doing one of these numbers here, which is that. This is a 50 and a 200-day moving average crossing each other. When the 50 crosses it from the top side, it is not good. When it comes up from the bottom, it is like this, it is usually good. So we have death crossing going on. So people are getting all excited about Bitcoin going up again. If it can't pass this, it's going to go freaking down here. So here's this 50. Here's the impending. This article's old, so we've got the death cross here. This death cross wasn't even that like deathly though, because this is just 42.5 and that's just 30,000. So whatever. They call it Bitcoin's death cross, a bearish indicator that appears when the 50-day average dips below the 200. We just talked about that. The ominously named pattern chart looks to be confirmed this week amid mounting concerns of faster liquidity withdrawal by the U.S. Federal Reserve, a bearish development for Bitcoin and asset price in general. So, a lot of talk about the Federal Reserve tapering. We've talked about tapering, talked about them not buying assets anymore, whatever. Are we just gonna? Is the world just gonna implode because the Federal Reserve's not buying assets anymore? That's one option. The other option is nothing inflates ever again and it just keeps going up, or we just stay right here as far as asset prices are concerned. But I don't like this continued narrative of asset prices constantly going down because they're not going to buy assets anymore, the Federal Reserve, because won't that just eventually get priced in? Again, not making predictions, but the more I see something, the more I'm inclined to do the opposite. So Fudsters sending Bitcoin up to 100,000 should have really captured that. Talked about to my peers, my therapists, other people, should have sold more in April. Greedy as hell. But, you know, it is what it is, right? So just wanted to point out this article because if this is true and what they're saying is true, Bitcoin's going to do a number like this for the next 2 years. Where's 2024? Back here? It's way back there somewhere. It's going to do something like this. So that could take a while. People will give up. People will straight up give up on that. So that's enough for the sadness for tonight on that. I think you should keep your job, keep buying it. Don't give up here. But moving on, we're going to talk about Decentraland. So what is Decentraland? Software running on Ethereum that seeks to incentivize a global network of users to operate a shared virtual world. Decentraland users can buy and sell digital real estate. So we talked about Eartha last night. They're selling hexes. Decentraland are squares, but while exploring, you can interact and play games with this virtual world. Over time, the platform has evolved to implement interactive apps, in-world payments, and peer-to-peer communication for users. Two different types of tokens govern operations in Decentraland. Land, a non-fungible token used to define the ownership of land parcels representing digital assets. So you use the mana, a cryptocurrency that facilitates the purchases of land, as well as virtual goods and services used in Decentraland. So changes to the Decentraland software are enacted through a collection of blockchain-based smart contracts, which allow participants who own mana to vote on policy updates, land auctions, and subsidies for new developments. For new releases and to follow its regular updates, be sure to bookmark Decentraland's blog. So how does it work? It's an application built to track real estate parcels defined by land tokens. The software leverages the Ethereum blockchain, blah, blah, blah. The one thing I will say that I like about Eartha more than Decentraland is it's based off Earth. If you go into Decentraland and try to buy land, it's just a bunch of plots, right? So, and what I'm going to show you, okay, that's fine. What I'm going to show you is so you can buy some of these items here for different mana. And here's some land parcels, right? So here's a parcel here. The price is 7,000 mana, which is a lot. It's for this little square right here. So these squares all have locations here, and you can jump into them. It's a pretty neat spot, I won't lie. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a game that you can play for free. It's not really a game. But you get into, when you go to Decentraland, the most common way to get in is through MetaMask. So it's going to pull up my MetaMask account. I think I want to play with this one. I'm not sure. Did I do it? Yeah. So Decentraland is really slow, and you have to use Chrome. So don't try to use like Firefox or something else. It'll just not work for you, which not everybody loves. All right, so here's my Decentra dude. So you can, there's several ways to get around. I think if you hit the I button, nope. If you hit V is for view. Okay, so you hit C. It'll show you all the things you can do for views, right? The map will open up. M will open up the map of places you can go. If you hit explore, you can jump to different places. I am going to take you to the Wonder Mine. And it's kind of the silliest game ever, but I'm going to show you what the Wonder Mine is. So the Wonder Mine, you get a pickaxe and you mine wonder tokens and other materials out of this mine, upgrade your pickaxe. Eventually you can get enough materials to mint different NFTs that actually sell for a good amount of money. So that while this world's kind of loaning right here, this is the craft machine here. So if I hit these arrows on this craft machine, these are what you need to craft the next available thing. So I have this iron pickaxe. The next thing I need is a titanium pickaxe. So I've already gotten this one, and as you can see, I need, like, it'll tell me what I need to get this titanium pickaxe. All right, so I need, this is lagging, sorry. It's kind of hard to play too. So to make this titanium pickaxe, I need all of these materials, and if I open up my backpack here, you'll see that I don't have this 50 titanium. I only have 43 here, but I've got the 40 gems here. I've got my iron pickaxe. I've got the 20 emeralds and the 10 rubies and the 10 wonder coins. Okay, so this game, and actually I'll show you one more thing before I start playing it. And so when you get further down, you can make, your pickaxe will give you these mining bonuses so that you're able to get more materials, okay? Once you're, you can get the diamond pickaxe, do whatever you want to be as efficient in mining as possible. They're going to give you 100 wonder tokens a day. And so I'm realizing now that my face is in the way of what you need to be seeing here on my stream, and I apologize for that. But what you need is, I have 39 wonder tokens here. They're going to give you 100 per day, okay? So every 24 hours, you're going to have 100 more tokens, and it costs 5 tokens to mine one of these wonder balls. All of this probably sounds crazy, but once you get going, you can craft glow metal and this blue ribbon or this blue fabric, and those are used to craft wonder tokens or wearables tokens. I'm sorry. And those wearables tokens create all these different crazy NFTs and these clothes that these people are wearing. Devil's horns are in here, and all of these items sell for value, right? So I guess what I'm saying is that you can come into this game completely for free, hit these balls for like 20 minutes a day, and then collect these materials. Oh, you can't mine 2 at a time. So now I'm going to mine this one. So the last one gave me a wonder gem, a sapphire, and a piece of gold. Can't tell if I'm still mining this one. It's lagging out on me. This one gave me a wonder gem, an emerald, and a copper, right? So you can see my wonder coins are going down. Let me see if I'm hitting this one. I can try to move myself here. Live stream editing here, baby. Let's go. All right, we can see it a little bit better now. You can at least see my inventory a little bit better. It's kind of funny though. All right, why is my... There we go. So that's what you do in this game. You know, I've got 24 tokens left. I don't spend too much time in here, but I think it's worth, if you're in these metaverse games, you're looking to do something fun, you can collect these crafts or these materials in Decentraland and use them to make wearables, right? And so just another way to get involved in the metaverse, start learning, and just mess around in these different games, right? So wanted to show you this game. There are other games you can play in Decentraland and other metaverses that are fun and will just help you get involved and help you learn a little bit more. But definitely wanted to show you this one and some of the others that I've been, and I'll continue, I guess I should say, to show you some of the other ones that I learn about as I get to them. So that's all I really had for you all on the show tonight. Thank you all for joining in and watching. Those are people talking in Decentraland. But thank you all for joining us tonight, and we'll catch you all next time on Crypto After Dark.